Welcome to our outdoor kitchen. So we have caught a bunch of bluegill and one bass. And today my friend Tom is going to be helping us. He's going to be cooking some of the fish. And he is also going to be doing the fillet demonstration. So Tom is a local, I don't know, what would you call yourself, a steelhead guide or?
Yeah, steelhead, but also other species during the summer. Smallmouth bass, carp is a big one. Carp and a fly rod, ton of fun.
He's a fishing expert, and I've learned a lot from Tom.
Mostly what not to do.
Right.
But, yeah.
So I'm going to let Tom take it away with a fillet demonstration, and then he is going to be helping us cook the fish.
Right on. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It looks like bluegill and a nice little largemouth bass. So I'm going to do about half of the bluegill, actually filleting them, and then the other half I'm going to do the way my dad taught me, which is basically just sort of gutting and taking the heads off and scaling them. And that way we can do two quick little methods of cooking that are very easy and simple. Hey puppy. And so we'll go ahead and get started. So basically filleting technique is pretty simple. You just basically follow the bone structure of the fish. So what we're going to do, if you can see, is make a cut right along the gill plate, down into the flesh, right through the belly, below. These are the pectoral fins. And on the same side. And then we're just going to turn the tip of the knife right along the backbone and just follow that backbone basically down close to the tail. And when we get opposite this fin, this is the anal fin, we're going to push the knife through and then follow the bones right down to the tail. And same thing on the other side. And quick little backstory how I got to be good at filleting. I grew up on Lake Erie, and when I was about 10 or 12, my dad decided it was time that I learned how to fillet, and he and his buddies would go out on Lake Erie and catch 200 or 300 perch and bring them down into the basement and hand me a knife and then go and drink beers. And so I got to be pretty good at it pretty fast. So basically what we do, we follow the ribs. There's tiny little bones here that you just cut through, and we'll do that on this opposite side. And a bluegill is not the ideal fish to learn to fillet, because even a big bluegill is still pretty small. A nice sized walleye is a really good sized fish to learn on, because there's enough room where if you make some errors, you still come up with some fish. So once we get it like that, we're just going to cut it off on both sides. And we can discard the carcass. And then instead of scaling, what we're going to do is called skinning the fish. So you have the fillet skin side down, and you start at the back by the tail and just hold it with your finger and just kind of run the knife at a pretty steep angle right along the skin, and that'll just lift the meat right off of the skin. So there you've got a nice little clean fillet. And there are a few little rib bones that we can remove. And there you have, it's small because it was a small bluegill, but that is completely bone free and ready for a little bit of egg wash and breading and fried a couple of minutes, and that's going to be some really good eating.
All right, so while our friend is preparing the fish, I am going to get the veggies ready. So you're not just going to eat fish, you need some veggies. We're going to have veggies, and I'm going to wrap these up in foil as well. And I'm also going to do potatoes, and I'm going to do the potatoes separate because the potatoes are going to take a little bit longer to cook. So I kind of rolled a lemon here under my hand, just kind of get the juices really flowing in that lemon. I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to squeeze some of it onto our potatoes. Now I like to do really simple. So especially when you're cooking outdoors, you're not going to be wanting to lug a whole bunch of ingredients with you. So I've got olive oil, I've got lemon, salt, and pepper. So I'm just going to dump some olive oil on there. If I had a little bit of garlic powder, I'd do that. I'm going to do some salt. I like a lot of salt, so I'm going to do quite a bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. And I actually happen to have some poultry seasoning, some fresh thyme, and a couple of these fresh herbs. So I'm just going to pull some of these off of here. And I'm going to sprinkle those in there too. Maybe add a little bit more lemon juice to this. I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm actually going to throw this directly onto the fire. So we don't really even need a pan for this. So I just wrapped it up in this foil. And then I'm going to throw it directly on to our flames here. All right, and we're gonna let that cook. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the veggies, but we're gonna wait a little bit. We're gonna let those potatoes cook for a little bit before the veggies go on, because the veggies are gonna take a little less time. But same concept, and I already have these cut up. So I've got some peppers, I've got onion, and I have asparagus. Throw those right on there. We're going to use our lemon again. A little bit more lemon here. Get as much out of that lemon as I can. Like I said, super simple, especially when you're cooking outside. And I don't measure stuff. I just dump on a little bit of olive oil. Some pepper.
I don't know if you want this on there.
Oh, and my helper got me some garlic powder. So I am going to sprinkle a little bit of garlic powder on these veggies.
Yeah, I know.
And some salt. Himalayan pink sea salt. And then since I do have these herbs, again, a little bit of thyme. I'm going to just kind of pull some off of there, sprinkle it in. I'm going to go for a little bit of the parsley as well. Just going to toss it in there. It's all going to cook up very nicely. Wrap it up into this foil. And again, I'm going to toss it right onto that fire. Right.
Well, also, I talked to my neighbor about it, and he said, no way in hell he's
So, Tom, what are we doing with the fish in the smaller pan and the bigger one?
Okay, so in the smaller pan, we're going to put about half an inch of shortening And
we're using coconut oil because it's healthier. Yes, it does give it a little bit of a coconut taste, but it is healthier.
It's coconut.
Right, it's coconut.
What could it hurt?
Coconut fish.
There you
delicious.
go. Like coconut shrimp.
Right.
Right. So we're going to have about a ½ inch in the small pan because this is where we're going to be doing our fillets, and we want the fillets basically to be submerged in the oil, and they're quite thin, so that'll work out nicely. And then in the big pan, that's where we're going to be doing our whole fish in seasoned flour, and we only need 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch or so of shortening in that because we're going to be like cooking one side and then flipping them over and then cooking the other, and that'll go quite quickly, not quite as quickly as the fillets because they don't have anything getting in their way, and of course the whole fish have bones and skin and all that, so they're going to take a little bit longer to cook, but yeah, that's basically how it's going to work.
Right.
From high school sports to community events and beyond, you can find all of your favorite local shows on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Hi, I'm Kristen Gambasini from Craft Table. You can check out my show as well as other local favorites such as Medina Minute, Cooking with Kelly, and Leisure and Literature on Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Check us out right now on Channel 100 or search Armstrong Neighborhood Channel on YouTube for playlists and much more. Spirit, town pride, community. This is the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Okay folks, we're going to do a quick little thing here to find out if your oil is ready. On a campfire you really can't control your heat all that well. So to judge if the oil is ready to cook your fish, you just make a quick little hush puppy out of your breading and egg mixture, and that way you can pop that in the oil, and if it sizzles and fries up nicely, then you know you're ready to go. So we'll get this thing put together here in a minute and see what we have got. Did you know that's something that you could do?
No,
Kelly?
I
No?
did not.
Okay.
I'm learning something new today.
Despite your better efforts, you learned something today?
I learned something today.
Unbelievable. Okay, and since we have 2 pans, we'll obviously break this into 2 hush puppies. And then our friendly neighborhood dog Daisy can get a little treat.
Ooh.
Once they cool down, of course.
Right.
Yeah, I gave a hush puppy to Riley the other day, my dog. I've got a chocolate lab, and it was a little on the hot side. She didn't care for that.
Daisy, come here.
Yeah?
Come here.
Okay, so these are for you, but not quite yet. And let's see what we have got. Here, I think we're looking good. I think we're looking good over there as well.
All right.
All right, I think we're ready.
Okay.
Oh, we have another? Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, golden brown. Perfect.
I want to make myself one.
No, honey. He's going to use that. Here, dump a little bit more in there.
Let's see.
I'm going to make myself one. So how do you do that?
Got you one.
Okay, so to get our fillets going, it's a very simple process. I learned this technique actually from the old ladies at the Slovak home in Lorraine when they have their perch fries. You keep one wet hand and one dry hand, and things go a lot easier. So this fillet into the wet, and then this hand into the dry, and you just stay a little cleaner and it's a little more efficient.
Very smart.
Yep. And so we've got obviously whipped eggs here, and these are seasoned Italian breadcrumbs. And once that hits the oil, that is going to be really, really good. And these will cook in no time flat.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like literally.
They're so, yeah.
Just a couple minutes, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Probably a minute or two at the most.
What about the other ones that you're doing?
Okay, so the whole fillet or the whole fish are going to take a little longer.
So are you going to do those ones first?
We're going to what?
Are you going to do those ones first?
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and do the fillets first, and that way we've got something for people to enjoy.
Okay.
And then while that's going on, we can get the
While you're doing that, I'm going to move our vegetables and our potatoes back onto the fire a little bit, just to make sure that they're warm and cooked.
Good idea. We've got our hot oil, and we're just going to lay these fillets in there.
Ooh, look at that.
And those are going to sizzle
Do
up.
you want a plate with paper towels on top?
Yes, please. Yeah, because these are so thin, they are going to cook up in no time.
Well, you have to flip those.
Thank you.
Well, you have to flip those.
Nope. Well, a couple of them probably.
Wow, look at that.
Golden brown, that's just what you want.
That only took
Oh, I
5
just got the
seconds.
smoke in my eyes. Jeez Louise.
Move. This way.
Yeah, these guys with their Ontario, Canada shore lunches don't have anything on us.
No way.
Fortunately, our grill is just a little tilted, but
I know.
that's okay. We will definitely
You gotta make do.
We are
When
making do.
you're outdoor cooking, you gotta make do.
That's right.
Right.
Want to get our hush puppy out, baby?
Oh, yeah,
Want to get
You know, we could use a little more shortening in there if you could do that. Can you get that out of there? Does that burn yourself?
Right. Well, we have our meal. So we have our little potatoes. We have our Tom.
Bluegill and
Bluegill.
one bass fillets.
One bass fillets.
Yes.
And what's the difference here?
Okay, well, the fillets are actually taken off of the fish, so you just get the meat with no bones whatsoever. With the whole fish, minus the head, of course, and that's how some people feel about that. So basically, all you're doing is lifting the meat off of the bone.
Beautiful. I
So,
mean, you
yeah.
can actually like pick that meat right
Oh,
off
yeah.
of there. I mean,
Right.
it's beautiful.
It's going to come right off of there, and the skin is going to be
Yes.
delicious too.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure. Let's give it
I
a
know.
little
Look
try.
at it. Oh my God. Yes. It's so good. And then we've got our veggies, fresh veggies, just in olive oil, a little bit of salt and pepper and garlic seasoning. And that is it. So this was a super simple outdoor cooking adventure. We hope that you enjoyed it. If you need to get in contact with me, my name is Kelly Bailey. I own and operate Kelly Bailey Wellness out of my home. And this is Tom Parks. He's an awesome fish. How do you get a hold of you?
You can reach me on my cell at 614-557-6804. It's best to text first if you have a question or if you would like to book a fly fishing trip, either in the summer. Currently there's a lot of fish that are available during the summer months. We're blessed in this area with a ton of opportunities, all kinds of fish. It's crazy.
We really are.
Early mid-October, depending on the weather, the steelhead are going to start moving into the tributaries of Lake Erie. I know a ton of spots, as Kelly kind of tests. So, yeah, if you have any interest in getting out and getting on some fantastic fishing, please let me know.
And you,
Happy to help you out.
and you can get a hold of me at Kelly Bailey Wellness, www.kellybailey.fit or kellybailey1980@gmail.com. And thank you so much, Tom.
Thank you, Kelly.
And my helpers. Whoop! We love some potatoes. All right.
Bye.